Hello everyone, welcome back to challenge number 2. Today we're gonna be having fun with some text here at the Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge. But let me say hello in the chat. I can see Shannon, Anthony, Buruval, nice to see you, Eric, Jennifer, Koshal, Natasha. I can see still Aaron Nace. Thank you so much, Aaron. That was an amazing stream in photo retouching and animation with After Effects. Super cool. I was very, very happy to follow along with every one of you in the chat. And I also see Alberto. What's up? Yes, my hairdo. Well, the reality is that I got a huge curly hair, so I always try to have fun and keep tidy for you guys here on these amazing challenges. But let me get started and show you, for those of you who are here for the very first time, how to join our challenges. So let me jump on screen right here. And as you can see, I'm on the beautiful Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge landing page. If you want to head there and if you want to join the challenge, that's what you have to do. Go on behance.net/challenge/illustrator. I'm going to zoom in here real quick just for you to copy it from my screen. So behance.net/challenge/illustrator. Also, you should have a tab on top of the chat that says challenge. That's the place to start as well. But if this is the first time you're joining the challenge, today we are day number 2, challenge number 2. Don't worry, you can start from today, but also you can watch yesterday here where it says vector art. You have the video and the file to get started. But in the meantime, make sure that you start downloading the file for today. So click on get started and you'll be able to watch the replay by clicking here on watch video. But if you never joined the challenge before, the very first step to do is to click on the big blue button on top of the landing page where it says your name and take the challenge. You'll be reminded every day of the new challenges so you won't miss any. And the very second part, one of the most important part of the challenge, is the community. You can also join the community from our landing page. As you can see here, you'll find that in step number 2, community chat. I'm gonna zoom in so you can see the link here. And once you click on the link, you'll be automatically invited to our beautiful community that is Discord. Discord is our space that hosts international artists, professionals, students. Everyone is welcome here to share their artwork and in particular to share their challenges so they can be reviewed afterwards during other streams and of course anytime from our mentors. We have here different mentors. You can see Kathleen, Jack, Andrew, Colby, Rocky, Tim, so many amazing people that are there just for you to give you feedback and help you out. Yesterday challenge was challenge number 1. For you to submit the challenge, you have to head here on the feedback challenge. I'm gonna fly on the other side of the screen because yesterday I've seen that you couldn't really see that. So where it says feedback challenge, that's the right channel where you have to post your work. And I can see that many of you have done so by submitting so many beautiful stickers. You really blew my mind. I was like watching and keep scrolling and you know, I just wanted to send a lot of heart to everyone and very well done. That was absolutely fantastic. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. But I'm gonna go back into the landing page just to give you a few more information here, and I'm gonna show you how also download Illustrator just in case this is your very first time. As I always say, this is a safe space for everyone. So for those of you who never played with Illustrator and you just stumble here into the challenge but you want to get started, you'll be able to download Adobe Illustrator by clicking on the download Illustrator button and have 1 full week of free trial to play with me during this challenge. But I hope that by now you already downloaded that starter file. I'm gonna allow you a little bit more time. In the meantime, I'm gonna jump into the schedule to remind you the busy day that was today here during the Adobe Live and you're gonna keep going with more creative, more beautiful, amazing people here on Behance. Also, real quick, if you're following us from the YouTube channel, make sure to head on behance.net/live so me and all the amazing streamers can see you and reply to your question here. So PM says sometimes it's really hard to read all those messages on Discord if you miss only one day. I completely agree with you. I have to scroll back until I have the notification. Thankfully, there is a little line that tells you which was the last message. But let me recap the day. So you started with interior design with Spencer. That was amazing. I was also there following it while I was working. As Aaron say, it's amazing to work and follow along with some amazing creative. And we have Jason with Premiere Pro Daily Creative Challenge, first challenge of the day. Then follows Paul Trani with a Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge that Aaron just reviewed a second ago. And then, as I said, photo compositing and a little bit of animation with Aaron Nace from Fleur. That was fantastic stream. And now we're here for the Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge, ready to go. And branding and identity with Lina Cordero that will be reviewing your challenges. So make sure that you work along with me, download that file so she can review your challenge on Discord. And then we have Andrea Ock following with another XD Daily Creative Challenge, super fun. And then draw along with Kyle Webster and design of Voodoo Val and Chris Burasa. I hope that I pronounced everyone's name correctly, and this is a very busy day for all of you, and that's the beauty. This is the beauty of the Adobe Live on Behance. We are an amazing community of creative, and thanks to you, and we stay always in company. I always stay in chat, even on Instagram with many of you, and you really keep me company during these days of isolation. So this is a creative community to share your work. But hopefully you have already downloaded the files. I'm gonna jump into the folder to show you what you're gonna find into the folder. So in this folder you will have a font. Let me go back, I'm already in the background. So you're gonna find a font called Big Noodle Tilting, although I'm gonna give you another option that you can download from font.adobe.com in just a second. Also, this is the Illustrator file that we're gonna start with, and then we have our backgrounds. Now make sure that you download all of these files into your machine. And as I said before we start, I'm gonna head to fonts.adobe.com. I'm gonna open one font that I already have. This is not the correct one, but you can just go here. Let me start from the correct page. So it's fonts.adobe.com, and you'll be able to sync live if you already have Illustrator open a new font. So you can use the one that I've shared with you. Otherwise, another one that I found very cool for this challenge, number 2, is Bebas Kai, I believe it's called. Let me just, Bebas Kai, here it is. I hope I pronounced it correctly. Or key. Here it is. So all you have to do is to type Bebas, Kai, and I'm sure the Voodoo Val is already posting a link into the chat in order to connect it into your library, into your font. All you have to do is click here on activated the font. Of course, mine is already activated because I was having a play before starting, but otherwise pretty simple. Like that, it gets removed, and if you click on activated, boom, is back into your successfully into your app. But now time to jump into Illustrator. I hope that all of you are ready with your file. I'm gonna see in the chat if there is any question. Kathleen, so nice to see you here. I always follow your stream. I hope you have fun here. We have Rebecca, we have Eric, John, William. Fantastic. So the chat on behance.net/live is of course a live chat. If you have any question, feel free to pop down there on the chat, and I'll be able to read them, and I'll be able to download all the I reply to your question. Sorry, I hope that you download the file because I'm about to start now. So today we're gonna play with some text effect and 3D rotation and masking. So in order to start, I'm gonna click on my type tool here into my toolbar on the left on the screen, and I'm gonna click once into my screen. As you see, my text is filled with what is called a lorem ipsum, which is a placeholder text. If you do not have this option and you will like it, or if you have this option and you want to disable it, the way to go is to go into Illustrator, Preferences, and type. And you will see that there is here a little tick that says fill new type object with placeholder text. I'm gonna zoom in so you can see the one that I'm pointed out. If you don't want any text, then untick it. If you do want to have the placeholder text, you can remove it. I'm happy with it because I usually test the font with the lorem ipsum, so I'm gonna keep it on. But here I'm gonna select the type by double clicking into my text, and by holding shift, I'm gonna start with the first letter. I'm gonna be writing Adobe Live because I'm a fan of the Adobe Lives. You feel free to share whatever words you want. Nice word, love, that's how we started the streams. Any words of kindness, or simply your name, whatever you prefer. This is up to you. This is the beauty of personalizing the work. And then I'm gonna double click, and I really want to make sure that all the text is caps. So all I have to do here is go into my properties, scroll down, and when you see these little dots, I'm gonna trigger more option, and this is gonna allow me to have the text in all caps. Then up to you, you can use the big noodle tilting, or you can use the other font, which was Bebas K that we downloaded from the Adobe Live. I'm gonna give it a little stroke. Oops, sorry, that was a little bit too much. And I'm gonna make the font a lot bigger. So perhaps 200 points will work. And I'm gonna press Command 0 to zoom back into my artboard. Time is running so fast, I really have to speed up here. So before we give it a further stroke to our text to make sure that we are working with a shape instead of a text, shortcut coming up, Shift Command O, in order to transform your text into a shape. As you can see, the text is not a live text. We cannot type anymore. It became a shape. To be even more sure of that, let's go into out the shape, because it's a path, is a line, although we can see it here. Into our normal view, I'm toggling between the two views by clicking Command Y. Here it is, and segment line, or line segment 2, that we find on our toolbar here on the left. I'm gonna click, and then as you can see, I have already this beautiful line, which is our guide that is helping us, Smart Guide. If you do not see yours in your Illustrator, go into View and make sure that the Smart Guide are ticked. I'm gonna take a moment to see if there is any question. I can see Colby. He really likes the typeface. That's one of my favorite. When I was a student, I was probably obsessed. Everything was in Big Noodle. And Alberto. Old school Shannon. I probably missed the first comment from Shannon. Let's see if I can catch it here. And in the meantime, I can see Ajum saying thank you for zooming in. That helps. I'm so glad. Perfect. I can see everyone is perfectly here. Jacob, don't worry. We just started, so we haven't missed much. And remember, there is always a replay, and that's why I go so fast. I really want to jump pack so much work for you guys, because you can always go back to the replay and then pause it and watch it in your own time. So we're here with our Smart Guide selected and with our segment tool on top of our first letter, holding Shift to make a straight line, click and drag to split the A in two. Now I'm gonna go back into my selection tool by pressing V and click on Option. You'll see, I'm gonna zoom in again, these two arrows from black, one black becomes two. We have a little white arrow there, and that's because this allows us to copy the segment that we created before. So I'm gonna click with the selection tool, again, click on V or here on the very first icon in your toolbar, and start to bring this segment into your letters. Of course, I'm working a little fast here, but if I was you, I would suggest to zoom in as much as you can to try to really match here the segment with the line. And I'm gonna go ahead and apply this. As you can see, I'm not using it for all the letters. I'm using them for all the letters that have kind of like already a vertical segment. For the other one, I'm gonna go back into my segment, select it, and copy it with our Option or Alt on the Mac. And in this case, I'm also pressing, I'm gonna drop it here in the middle of the O, but also I'm gonna go on top and rotate it by pressing Shift. So we have a 45, if we hold Shift, we're sure that we have a 45-degree angle. Also, I'm gonna, making sure that I stay within the same line, drag this little line a little bit lower so it doesn't hit our other letter, just like so. and then I'm gonna click on this segment, press an option, and I'm gonna use the same for the L, just right there, and also for the I. Perfect. Now we just want to make sure that all these lines are the same height. Oops. So I'm gonna go ahead and select them all by pressing Shift, go into Align, Align to Selection, and we want to make sure that we are using the letter O as a reference. So we go ahead and click into it, and then we click into Align to Center to make sure that all the rest of the line were on the same level, so we can work nice and neatly here. I'm gonna just bring those lines in so they don't interject with the other letters, and then by always clicking on our V in order to have our selection tool, click and drag to select the entire path. Then we're gonna jump into our shape builder tool. I'm gonna zoom in for you to show. It's like two circles with some dots. It's one of my best friends in Illustrator, and by clicking on the selection tool, you can see there is a little plus. So I'm gonna go ahead and click all the left side, top left or just left of every letter, and then I'm gonna jump back into my selection tool by pressing V, and I'm gonna delete all this little path that we don't want. In order to make more selection, remember to hold Shift so you can select more items at the same time. Time is running so fast. I have so many amazing things to show you, but remember, I'm always available on Discord. So if you ever have been going too fast or there is something else that you want to learn, remember to give me a shout there or on my Instagram at @IamCladi. So now it looks like we lost the shape, but if we go into our outline with Command Y, you can see that the shape is there. So what I'm going to do is to click on the invisible shapes, and I'm going to press Shift Command G to release the group, and then I'm going to go ahead and click by holding Shift at all my black path in order to select them all, and Command G to group them, then click and select over all the artwork in order to select the opposite. So the black is going to be deselected, and we can press Command G to select the white. Now the fun begins. We're going to go to our swatches. I'm going to bring it up here so it's more visible. Here to hit the libraries and go into our patterns. Here they are, basic graphics. I'm going to start with some basic graphic lines, and perhaps I not selected the correct one. So let's press Command Z to make sure that we only have selected the white part. So I'm just going to make sure that I've done that correctly, because it looks like that I didn't deselected the other area before. So I'm going to press Command C to copy and delete, and then Command F to paste in place. Of course, you don't have to do that if you've done yours correctly. And I'm going to use here a little stroke. Then I'm going to go into my transform pattern. In order to tilt that stroke, we're going to make sure that we have here transform pattern only. So we have this little sign there, and hit 45 degrees and press return in order to have our line following the cut that we've done. Brilliant. We can close this, and now let's play with some rotation. I'm going to select both sides, the stripes one and the black one, and press Command G so we regroup them together, and go into our appearance panel and go into the new effect where it says FX. Here it is right here. I'm going to click on FX 3D and rotate. Now you can play as much as you want here, making sure that you have your preview ticked so you can see the effect live. I have a pretty standard of about 48 or 50. You can use my setting as well. And then perspective, as you can see, makes it a little bit more flatter or not. I use a bit around 40, just so it looks like it's sitting on a table. And if you're happy with it, press OK. And here we go. We have our type that is looking like is in perspective. Now we want to add some more effect into it. So one thing that we can do is to select the type, and for example, just select, double click to re-enter the groups. So you can see it still looks like it was at the beginning, and I'm going to press Command C and then Command F to copy and paste in place. To make sure that we created a different colors, I'm going to go ahead and click on this orange, And of course now it's sitting directly on top, so we're not gonna see the two different paths, but if we start into Alt Shift and use our arrow, we can see if you have created a different path or not, and this happened successfully. So we just have a couple minutes. I still wanna show you how to mask. Let's bring this down, and I'm gonna press Command, Shift, and the left curl bracket in order to bring it lower, and we start to have this effect with the 3D location that is pretty cool. Now I'm going to double click to exit the group, and I want to show you something else, which is how to use the background that I showed you. So I'm going to press Shift Command P to place, and I'm going to go into my background folder. You should have exactly the same file that I've shared with you, and I'm going to click on Ant. I'm just going to use this one. You use whatever you want. Click on to place and click into the artboard to use it. And I'm going to rotate by holding Shift to make sure that we rotate it all 45 degrees. And I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to move our panel here. I had some question regarding my workspace. I'm going to share with you some tips, hopefully when I have more time. Today looks like it's not the right day. But once you place and rotated your background, in order to bring it back, you can press Command Shift curly bracket, or you can use our layers. So I've created another layers below here. So all you have to do is press Command C, delete it from this layer, go into your background and press Command F to paste in place. As you can see, the frame changed color and is here into our background. So we are 100% sure that sits below our type. Now, some of you may want to use this little cord. And by the way, if you want to get rid of this title that I use here, is under artwork. So make sure that you go here, and all you have to do is toggle the visibility off over here where it says group, and there is a little lock. If we toggle the visibility off, it's gone. Now, some of you may want to use this little old school notebook, or maybe you don't like it. So if you don't like it, how do you use the side of the photo that just has the texture without having all the rest? Well, pretty easy. Thanks to Illustrator, all we have to do is to click on the rectangle tool and build a rectangle of the size that we want to use for our frame. It doesn't really matter the color, it helps working within the same layer. And now with V, our selection tool, click and select both, and then press Command 7 to create a clipping mask. As you can see now, we have the exact shape that we want. Now I'm gonna jump into my final, because I have 1 minute before I say goodbye, but I really wanted to show you when I was playing before. Here I just started to create some square with the different oranges, and I created some, I've done exactly the same rotation that we've done here, and I just set a play just to show you what you can achieve. I don't know if I have a minute to show you how to change the color of the text. I'm gonna try, hopefully I don't get cut off. So all you have to do is to double click on the left side, because you know that on the left group, that's where you have your pattern. So what I'm gonna do here is to make sure that I'm on the right group, click onto my left side, should be grouped, but as you've seen before, I had a little bit of issue grouping, but not a problem. We can still see which one is the left side here, and then click on Object, Expand, and we're gonna expand the fill, which is a pattern. Then we're gonna click on Expand again, so we make sure that both fill and strokes are expanded. And I'm just gonna do it one more time, just to make sure that all is expanded. Then I'm gonna double click again, and you can see here, probably I'm going to do just one more letter, that it start to select those strokes. I usually use my little magic wand to make sure that I hit those strokes, and then I can change it to whatever color I want. Now, if you have grouped it correctly, you'll be able to do that for all the stripes together. Otherwise, you can do it one by one. But it's time to say goodbye. Before doing so, I'm gonna jump real quick into the schedule. After me, we have Lina Cordero with branding and identity. I believe Julia is gonna be hosting here, so stay tuned for those amazing girls and more fun with assume Illustrator, and then XD Daily Creative Challenge with Andrea Hogg, Draw Along with Kyle Webster, and Design Off with Voodoo Val and Chris Burasa. And as you can see, an amazing busy day here on the Adobe Live. I want to thank you so much for being here with me. I hope you enjoyed this challenge, and I'm gonna say goodbye and catch you on Discord. And of course, I'll see you tomorrow at the same time here on Adobe Live. Bye guys, thank you so much for joining me.